Up next on In Focus, we are going to learn about what Golden West College in Huntington Beach has to offer in one of the fastest growing and changing fields today, digital arts. Welcome to In Focus, a talk show produced by students enrolled in the television production program at Golden West College. Every day, our lives are surrounded by something created by a graphic designer or digital artist. Digital arts is an exploding field, and Golden West College is at the front of the pack with its digital arts program. With me here today is Carl Glassford, an instructor in the digital arts program, and Don Nielsen, who is also an instructor here. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, tell us about the program here at Golden West College, Carl.
Graphic design is becoming a computer operation. People who come here start learning computers, and then they learn more about what they can do with a computer. They have to have a background of art, perhaps drawing, perhaps color combination, perhaps layout design, but still the computer becomes a tool that they put it all together with.
So an art class is a prerequisite to coming in to taking a class in the digital arts program?
Well, prerequisite, maybe not. It's a good idea that you have some art background, that you have some idea. You can't miss any bases in this game. You got to go to first and second before you get to third. Third base is where the computers are, and that you have to have some art background to get started.
It is a visual medium, and so understanding how to compose an image is essential to working in the digital arts program.
Yeah.
So what kinds of classes are offered in the program?
Well, you start with perhaps introduction to the computer, a very easy class, but some people need that. And then you go into Illustrator and Photoshop and a program like Quark, the three that you really have to get started in a variety of computer graphic skills. Those are the three that are in desktop publishing, where you're actually going to print. And then when you cross over, if you want to cross over into electronic media, then you're doing websites, computer animation, something you would see on a television.
And you can learn all of that here at Golden West College.
You get started with that. From here, you would need to have other training. 2 certificates, one in print design and the other in electronic media.
And all of these classes, are they transferable to a four-year university or college?
They are transferable. We have a hard time getting people to transfer because they go off and get jobs, but it's a pretty big field. Yes, they are transferable, yeah.
There's that kind of need for graphic arts right now. Yeah. So now what classes in particular do you teach?
I teach illustration, which is Illustrator, which is a program, Adobe Illustrator, which is a fundamental program of line and type and color. And then I teach graphic design on the computer, and I teach typography. A graphic designer spends about 80% of their time using type, and therefore it's important to know that. Now,
Don, tell us about some of the classes that you teach here at the program.
Well, I'm only involved with 2, an introductory computer course and the one that we call Adobe Photoshop. There are 2 different levels of Adobe Photoshop, a beginning course that most anybody would probably find fascinating and helpful to their career, and then the secondary course, the kind of things that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas expect from their employees, and that's what we teach.
And that's what you teach?
That's correct.
So in one semester, can you tell me from the start to finish, what do you expect, like when they're starting, a starting project for a student would be?
Well, when they begin, of course, the very first steps naturally are just the basics, where you need to learn the rudimentaries. By about the 6th or 7th week, they're generating a commercial CD product, the jacket, the label, all of that stuff. And usually by the end of the semester, they're performing some pretty elaborate tasks where we might pluck the head off of one person and put it on someone else, and do it in such a fashion, the real test is if you can't tell it was done, do it in such a fashion that it looks completely real and believable.
So somebody could become Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah, I suppose. Arnold Schwarzenegger too, if you wanted to be.
Arnold Schwarzenegger too. So now, Carl, some of the classes, you talked about the arts that are required before you, or helpful before you get in. What are some other classes that would be more computer or technically involved?
Well, after you get the basic Illustrator, Photoshop, Quark area, you can go to classes that have Well, more portfolio-like classes. Take what you know and now make something out of that. You go into 3D modeling, which is a whole new program where you put together things that you make on the computer and put them together and you have an object. You can rotate that and make it animated, or put it back into two-dimensional print so that it looks like a three-dimensional object. It just becomes a little more complicated each application you learn.
Now, how many students are in each class?
28 workstations.
And how many workstations are there available?
We have 3 classrooms, and each classroom has 28 workstations, so 3 times 28 is how many people we can deal with. And of course, each classroom has different classes going on, so we have a good scheduling mix going on.
So you've got it really orchestrated well. It's not difficult to get to a station and get your assignments completed, or to get even more experience than you would.
Yeah, it's organized so that you come in, you get going, and you have time to work. One of the biggest problems the student has is if they don't have a computer at home to work on, to practice with, they do it in the class, in the lab. And so we give them 4 hours a week or perhaps longer to work there to get their work done and prepare themselves for the next assignment. But so working on the computer is a really important part of all this.
It's a real hands-on project.
Oh, yeah.
And do they have one-on-one with the teachers very much?
Every day.
Every day.
All the time.
All the time. So, and is there a fee associated, a materials fee associated with the class?
There is that a slight fee that covers the cost of cartridges for the printing, the things that were printed, or other materials you have to have in the class. But the computer they sit at is a complete unit, and the program is there installed. We don't require that they have a computer and that program at home, but if they do, it helps them a lot more with their own practice time.
Yeah, of course, that would be helpful. You'd have your own at home to play with and to move through your classes. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about the career opportunities that are available in digital arts, because, as you said, it's exploding, and all the opportunities, we got to talk about those. We'll be back in a minute on InFocus. Today is Don Nielsen and Carl Glassford, instructors at the Golden West College Digital Arts program. Thanks for being here again. Now, we were talking about all the jobs that are available in digital arts. Tell me, where can we go from this classroom? You said some folks don't even go to the four-year college. Where are they going?
Well, everybody is doing graphics of some sort. They have to do it in packaging, in print, in signage. You know, every company has a graphic need, and so a graphic designer would go into a company and say that does a lot of packaging. And they begin on the low end, or the first rung of the ladder, and move up. But the LA Times, you look under G for graphics, and you will find several jobs every week that's asking for somebody that's entry level, because they want to bring them in, because the people that were there are moving up, because there is such a need, and everyone is producing graphics in print. And then when you get to the electronic media, you're talking about websites, and everybody's got to have a website. So there's a big need for, as these people come out of classes, there's this big coming, here we are, and they're attracted.
Because these visual images, you can just walk through a supermarket actually, and everywhere, everything you see up there required a graphic artist, a digital artist probably, to put everything together.
Including the sign over the door when you went in.
The sign over the door you went in, that's
Yep.
amazing, that is so true. And what is a surprise to you? What surprises students? What do you see students coming away from that they didn't understand before when they took your classes?
Most people don't believe they can do what they do.
They can't believe they can do it.
That's right. Their belief is more that they suspect that they can be involved with it. They suspect that they can do some simple things. They really don't understand that once they learn how to use the package, that they can do some enormous tasks. And it's really as much as your imagination will allow is what you can deliver. And most people don't recognize that until they're thoroughly immersed in the program. You know, Carl, a moment ago you were mentioning all the different possibilities. We shouldn't forget one other one. It's called advertising.
Advertising.
Advertising. Graphics is everywhere in advertising, and it makes no difference whether it's electronic or printed. You were speaking to that, but specifically the advertising field just sucks up digital art people.
Well, you know, Golden West College, they just finished building a new digital arts lab. Can you tell us about that?
Well, we took the whole second floor of the art department and virtually cleaned it out. they call it Carl's Bad Cavern. I like that because my name is Carl. But they cleaned it out and they put it back together again as 3 rooms with glass walls, so that you have now 1 class in a room, or you could spread it to be, if you had more students, you can teach out of 2 rooms. The instructor has a console where he works and a big screen that all the students can see the work on the screen, and so they virtually follow along as the instructor does it. So it's electronic age in the electronic business, so it works out.
So is it state-of-the-art equipment?
Yes.
What type of equipment are they using?
We have a Macintosh lab, so all of the equipment is Macintosh.
Macintosh.
But every day doesn't matter because the applications we're working with goes on both platforms, a PC or Macintosh. So if you learn the application, you virtually turn the thing on and whatever you're using, it works.
Now, in terms of software and hardware, everything is changing so fast. How does Golden West College keep up with all of that?
We have catalogs, and every day we get a new catalog when we order more stuff. It really is going very fast. Keeping up with it is difficult because you want to be state of the art, but that requires then that we manage our funds really well so that we can keep up.
So tell us about some of the instructors that are teaching in the program here.
Well, we have the print side and the digital media side, and sometimes they overlap because the programs do. But that's the 2 groups that end up doing things that come out in print or come out on electronic web screen of some sort.
And we shouldn't forget the fact that in both sides we have specialists that are unique to 2 or 3 different subject matter areas. So your question about how do we keep up, the answer is it's easy.
It's easy.
You only handle your part.
You handle your part and you give everybody else. It's like having specialists.
We would expect them to handle their portion.
So now, because you both bring deep backgrounds, tell us about you. I know that you've taught cartooning here at Golden West College.
Yeah, I began my career as a Disney graphic designer. And from Disney with the pixie dust and all that stuff came then to television, and I did a lot of public television, and then here to teaching.
So you bring all that experience with you to the program for students to benefit from.
Well, yeah.
Now tell us, what would you say to a student out there who's considering the digital arts program? What would you tell them?
Get here quick.
Get here quick.
Yep. You sign up for the classes because they go very quickly. You know, we have 50, 60 people on the outside, wanting to get in. Well, maybe not that many, but we do have, it's quite popular in that people want to be in that, and that there are jobs available, and it's a nice field to be in.
And something you could have a job with before you've even completed your AA.
It's happened.
And what would you like to say to folks out there who are considering the digital arts program?
Come quick.
Come quick again.
Come quick.
That's the moment.
It's very near standing room only.
Standing room only. Well, you know what? We're all going to have to hurry up now. We're going to run out here and go sign up for the program right now. I thank you both for being here today. And we will be talking to Carl and Don again about digital arts program, hopefully sometime in the future. And thank you for joining us on InFocus.